What? Yes. Oh, right. Okay. We shall now turn instead to the great sage of heaven, the celestial Jade Emperor of the valiant Deva, who was holding a court one day in the treasure hall of divine mist. What the fuck is that name? The cloud palace of Golden Acres. The divine ministers, civil and military, were just gathering in the morning when suddenly a Taoist immortal, Kui Hongze, announced, "Your Majesty, outside the palace, the Dragon King of the Eastern Ocean is awaiting your command to present a memorial to the throne." The Jade Emperor gave his order to have him brought forth. The Angue was led into the Hall of Divine Mist. After he paid his respects, a divine page boy in charge of documents received a memorial. The Jade Emperor read it from the beginning. The memorial said, "From lowly water reign of Eastern Ocean at the west Prividog Hanmin continent, the small dragon subjects, Angwe, humbly informs the wise Lord of Heaven, the most enlightened high god ruler, that a boisterous immortal Sun Wukong, born of Flower Fruit Mountain and resident of the Water Curtain Cave, has recently abused your small dragon." Okay. Okay. Gaining a seat in his water home by force, he demanded a weapon, employing power and intimidation, and he asked for martial attire, unleashing violence and threats. He terrorized my water kingsmen and scattered my turtles and tortoises. The dragon of the south trembled. The dragon of the west was filled with horror, and the dragon of the north drew back his head to surrender. And your subject, Angwe, flexed his body to obscure. We presented him with divine treasures of an iron rod and gold cape with phoenix plumps, giving him a chainmail and cloud-treading shoes made of fine gold. That is true. They did, in fact, do all of that. I see. And all he could say to us when he left was, "Sorry to have bothered you. We are indeed no match for him, nor are we able to subdue him. Our dispatch to the heavens post and hope to capture this monster." Oh, our dispatch is for the heavens and hopes that this monster will be captured. That's what it's supposed to say. There's a couple missing letters in there. "So that tranquility may be restored to the oceans, and prosperity to the lower regions. Thus, we present this memorial." When the Jade Emperor finished reading, he gave the commander a look and said, "Let the dragon god return to the ocean. We shall send our generals to arrest the culprit." The dragon god, gratefully touched by the Jade Emperor's generosity. I don't think there's anything generous here, but okay. to the ground. So, the dragon god, gratefully touched by the Jade Emperor's generosity, gently touched his forehead to the ground and left from below. From below, the immortal elder Gwen, the celestial master, also brought forth the report. Your Majesty, the ministers of darkness, King Queengwag, supported by the Bodhisattva King, Pope of the Underworld, that was not a title we heard before, has arrived to present his memorial. A jade girl in charge of commissions came from the side to receive this document, which the Jade Emperor also read from the beginning. The region of darkness is neither a region proper of earth as of heaven. What? The region of darkness is not a region proper of earth or as of heaven. It's saying it's not heaven or earth, that is true. As heaven is for gods and earth is for ghosts and life, so and death in cycle succession. Fowls are born and animals die. Male and female, they are multiplied. Births and transformations. The male begotten of the procreative female, such is the order of nature. Well, yes. Why did this need to be stated in the first part of your memorial? What the fuck? And it cannot be changed. Well, don't say that. Everything on the planet dies, it'll sure as hell change. You know, in the past, the idea of the entire planet dying in the times when this book was made was a distant fantasy. Now it's not so much a fantasy. There's a very good chance that we have things in modern times that can destroy the planet. But now appears Sun Wukong, a heaven-born, baneful monkey from the world below, the water curtain cave and flower fruit mountain, who practice evil and violence and resists our proper summons. Exercising magical powers, he utterly defeated the ghostly messengers of ninefold darkness. Exploiting brute force, he terrorized the 10 merciful kings. Yeah, merciful. In my opinion, there's no fate worse than reincarnation, for you may as well not have existed at all. So you know what? I feel like he's right there. I feel like he's right to die. In fact, just kill all those motherfuckers. End the cycle right now. Let's see what happens. But my personal gripes aside, he caused great confusion in the Palace of Darkness. He arrogantly forced the register of names into his hands so that the catalog of monkeys is now beyond control, their names stricken from the record. All of them now bear enormously long life. That's a typo. Enormously long lives is given to the Simon family. The wheel of transgression is stopped, for birth and death are eliminated in each kind of monkey. Your poor monkey, therefore, is therefore at risk offending the cycle as a whole. Your heavenly authority is presented with this memorial. We humbly beg you to send forth your divine army and subdue this monster, for he alone may destroy the cycle. He erased some names from a book. I don't think he can destroy the fucking cycle yet. Calm the fuck down. To the end of life and death may once more be regulated and the underworld retained properly. Respectfully, we present this memorial. Okay, for he may be the end of the cycle. When the Jade Emperor heard the jaded girl? Oh, the one in charge of communication of the underworld. That's what that's. The jaded girl. They just call her the Jade Girl on the previous page. The jaded girl say, "Shall the Dark Lords return to the underworld?" The Jade Emperor then giving a command, "Let the Dark Lords return. We shall send our generals to arrest the culprit." King Quigag also touched his head to the ground gratefully and left. The great heavenly Deva were called together. His various immortal subjects, both civil and military, and he asked them. Oh, and he was asked from them. Odd. When was this baneful monkey born, and in which generation did he begin his career? How is that he became so powerful, accomplished in the way? Scarcely before he finished speaking, when from the ranks 1,000-mile eye and far wind ear stepped forward. I remember these guys from the beginning of the book. "This monkey," they said, "is the heaven-born stone monkey of 300 years ago. At that time, he did not seem to amount to much, and we did not know where he acquired the knowledge of self-cultivation these last few years and became an immortal. Now he knows how to subdue dragons, tame tigers, and thus he is able to annualize by force and subjugate the register of death." "Which one of you divine generals," asked the Jade Emperor, "wishes to go down and subdue him?" Scarcely had he finished speaking when the long life spirit of the planet Venus came forward. Whoa, what? What is his title? The long life spirit of planet Venus came forward from the ranks and prostrated himself. "Highest and honest," he said, "with the 3 regions all creatures endow with 9 culpritations can thus exercise. Thus the monkey became immortal." What? Okay, maybe I'm just too stupid for that. "Thus the monkey became immortal. It is not a surprise that this monkey, with a body nurtured and natured by both the heavens and the earth, a frame born in the sun and moon, should with a body like that achieve immortality, seeing that his head points to the heavens and his feet walk on the earth, and that he feeds on dew and mist, now that he has the power to subdue dragons and tame tigers." Subdue dragons and tame tigers? That might be something I don't know about. "How is he different from a human being, such as your subjects? Your subjects, therefore, makes the move to ask your majesty to remember grace of creation." Okay. "Let him be summoned to the upper region, given control." Okay. "Let him be summoned." This guy talks really weird. "Grace upon the region of creation. Let him be summoned to the upper region, given some kind of official duties. His name will be recorded in the registry, and we can control him here. If he is... Oh, scroll down. If he is receptive of the heavenly decree, he will be rewarded and promoted heftier. But if he is if he disobeys your command, he can be punished. We shall arrest him forthwith in a place where he cannot cause much damage. Such an action will spare us military expense in the first place, and, in the second, permit us to receive unto our midst another immortal in an orderly manner. The Jade Emperor was highly pleased with this statement, and he said, "We shall follow the counsel of our ministry." He then ordered the Star Spirit of Songs and Letters. Star Spirit of Songs and Letters to compose a decree, and the Star Spirit of Venus to be the... okay. This, I don't know if this is like a word I don't know or not, but the Star Spirit of Venus to be the Viero. Vicro of peace. I don't know what that word is. Having received the decree, the golden star went out to the south heaven gate, lowered the decree of his hands onto a cloud, and headed straight for the flower fruit mountain to the water curtain cave. He said that to the various little monkeys, "I am the heavenly messenger sent from above. I have with me an imperial decree to invite your great king to the upper region. Report this to him quickly." The monkeys outside the cave passed the word along one by one until it reached the depths of the cave. "Great king," one of the monkeys said, "there's an old man outside bearing a document on his back. He says that he is a messenger sent from the heaven, and he has an imperial decree for your invitation." That would have been great if it passed down the line of monkeys and it got to Sun Wukong and it was just completely fucking wrong. It's just complete misinformation. There's an old man outside demanding that the heavens come down or something. That would be really fucking funny, man. Oh my god. The handsome, great Monkey King, as he is called on this page, was extraordinarily pleased. "These last 2 days," he said, "I was just thinking about taking a little trip to heaven, and the heavenly messenger has already come to invite me. Truly, I am amazed." That's not me adding that. That's what it says in the book. The Monkey King quickly straightened out his attire and went to the door for the first meeting. The gold star came into the center of the cave and stood still, his face forward to the south. "I am the gold star of Venus from the west," he said. "I came down to earth bearing an important decree for the one great Monkey King from the Jade Emperor. An invitation for you to go to heaven and receive an immortal appointment." Laughing, Wukong said, "I am most grateful for the old star's visit." You know what I'm noticing? There's not actually a whole lot of poems in this section. "I am grateful for the old star's visit." He then gave the order, "Little ones, prepare a banquet to entertain our guest." The gold star said, "As a bearer of imperial decree, I cannot remain here long. I must ask the great king to go with me at once. After your glorious promotion, we shall have an occasion to converse at our leisure." Okay. "We are honored by your presence," said Wukong. "I am sorry that you have to leave with empty hands." He then called the 4 mighty commanders together. Be delighted in teaching and drilling the young ones. Let me go up to heaven to take a look and see whether I have all I can have all you brought up there to live with me. The four mighty commanders. Oops, sorry, gotta scroll down. The four mighty commanders rejoiced in their obedience. This Monkey King mounted the cloud with a golden star and rose up to the sky. Truly, he ascended to the highest rank of immortals from the sky. His name enrolled in the cloud columns and treasure scrolls. We do not know what sort of rank of appointment he received. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter. Very good. Okay. The gold star of Venus. There we go. The gold star of Venus left the depths of the cave dwelling with the handsome Monkey King. Oh, hold on. So this one is called Appointed a Bane Horse. So this is what this chapter is called. Appointed of a Bane Horse. Could he be content? Named equals to heaven. He's still not appeased. The great sage equal to heaven. And together they rose to the mountain clouds. But the clouds of somersault of Wukong, you see, is no common magic. Its speed is tremendous, so he left the gold star behind and arrived first at the southern heaven gate. He was about to dismount the cloud and go in to the... guys, I don't know. Devaraja Vakunkihang. Leading Pang, Lu Ku Bi Denks Ix Zahang and Tao, the various divine heroes, barred the way with spears, scimitars, swords, halberds, and all manner of earthly and heavenly weapons, and refused him entry. The Monkey King said, "What a disgraceful following the gold star is! If old monkey has been invited here, why have these people been ordered to use their swords and spears to bar my entrance?" He protested loudly when the gold star arrived in haste. "Old man," said the Monkey King angrily, "why do you deceive me? I told you that I told you." What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh. I had told you. Okay. I had told you. That's a typo. That's like an actual proper typo. I think that sentence got scrambled up. That's what I get for using a free version of this book. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any versions of the book online that were like just the complete entire story of Journey to the West for free. Unfortunately. So I had to use a free version that is like the first section of the book. But I'm noticing now that this might actually be a scan of an actual book, because some of these words are a little bit messed up. Anyways, my apologies. Let us continue. After that weird sentence, he says, "By the Jade Emperor's decree, I had been invited, had I not? Why then did you get these people to block the heavenly gate and prevent my entry? Let the great king calm down," the gold star said, laughing. "Since you have never been to the Hall of Heavens before, nor have you been given a name, you are quite unknown to the various heavenly guardsmen. How can they let you in their own authority once you have seen the heavenly diva, received an appointment, and had your name listed in the immortal registry? You can go in and out as you please. Who then would obstruct your way? "If that is how it is," said the Monkey King, it's all right, but I'm not good. I'm not good. Well, hold on. I'm not good. Space. Oh, it's below. Okay. There's like a big long gap and then a single word. Alone. So that's all right, but I'm not good alone. Then allow me to go in with you, said the gold star, putting him in front of him and pulled him by the hand. So he pushed him forwards. As they approached the gate, the gold star called out loudly, "Guardsmen of the heavenly gate, lieutenants great and small, make way. This person is an immortal from the region below, whom I have summoned by the imperial decree of the Jade Emperor." The Devarachas and various divine heroes immediately lowered their weapons and stepped aside. The Monkey King finally believed that he had been told what he had been told. We walked slowly inside the gate with the gold star and looked around, for it was truly his first ascension to the reign and region above. His sudden entrance into the hall of heaven, where 10,000 shifting golden lights whirled as celestial rainbows, and 1,000 layers of hollow air drifted mist like purple rain. Looked at the southern heaven gate, its deepest shade of green from glazed tiles were made. Its radiant battlements and spears lifted high. Another treasure of heaven adorned with jade. On two sides were posted sources of celestial sentience and summons, each of whom standing tall beside the pillars, like guardians of a light upon this jaded wall. Carrying bows and clutching banners all around were Sudrai and divine beings in golden armor laced with purity, each of them holding halberds and whips or wielding scimitars, swords, and shield. Impressive may be the outer court, overwhelming is the sight within. The inner walls stood 7 huge pillars, circled by red, whiskered dragons whom golden scales gleamed in the sun. There were, moreover, a few long bridges above the crimson-headed phoenix, circled with the soaring plumes of a many hues. Brightest mist shimmered in the light of sky. Green fog descended, obscuring the stars. 33 heavenly mansions were formed up. Their names, like scattered clouds. Yeah, that's a hard one, Chief. Visimva, Panchimdale, Suyadama, and Niriaraditi, I want to say. I study Japanese. I do not study Chinese. Chinese, I'm not even going to try and pronounce these too well because I know I'm going to mispronounce them. They're Chinese. I have no idea. Chinese is a fucking mysterious magic to me. On the roof, every mansion of the ridge held a sturdy golden beast. What? What does that mean? Held a sturdy golden beast. There was also 72 treasure halls, with names like the morning assembly, the transient void, precious light, the heavenly king, and the divine minister. In the hall beneath the pillar stood Rows of jade unicorns on the platform. On the platform, there were copious immortals. There were flowers unfading in 1,000 millennia beside the oven for refining herbs and medicines. There were exotic grasses growing green for 10,000 years. He went through the tower of homage to the sage, where he saw robes of royal purple grays, brilliant as star fragments, capes of the shape of hues of heaven and rainbows, resplendent with gold and precious stone, and pines of jade and shorts of pearl, with shoes like golden mist, and purple sashes and golden ornaments. When the golden bells swayed to their striking, the memorial of 3 jades would cross the Valimician country. When the drums of heaven were sounded, 10,000 sages of a royal audience would honor the Jade Emperor. He went to the treasure hall of divine mist, where nails of gold permitted frames of jade, and colorful phoenixes danced atop scarlet doors. Here were covered by bridges of wind and corridors of jade, displayed everywhere open work canvases, most elegant, and ever crowding together in layers 3-fold to 4, on each which reared a phoenix and a dragon. There was high above a round dome, big and bright and brilliant, its shape a huge gourd of purple and gold. Below, guardian goddesses hung out their fans, and jade maidens held up their immortal veils. Precious were the sky marshals overseeing the court. Delightful in the divine officials protect the throne. There are at the center a celestial platter, tables of the great tables and pills filled with tablets and elixirs were heaped, and rising out of the center column were several branches of twisted coral. Sounds like it's underwater almost. So that it was that rare goods of every order were formed in the heavenly halls, and nothing like them on earth could ever be seen. Those acres, silver catches, and heavenly houses, those forever blooming and jasper plants with their buds of jade. The jade rabbit passed the platform to adorn the king. The golden crown flew by to worship the sage. Blessed was the monkey king coming to this heavenly realm. He who was no... Oh, that's actually a really good ending. He who was no more mired in the final soil of man. He who was no longer mired in the final soil of man. I think it's supposed to be like he who was no longer mired by the final soil in the final soil of man. I think it's supposed to be like how people get buried in the ground, and like when you die, you return to the earth. I think it's supposed to be like, oh, he's no longer on the place where people die. You know, everyone's immortal here. That was fucking good. Hmm. Honestly, I myself probably wouldn't bring a homicidally impulsive monkey to the heavenly kingdom, no matter how powerful he was, but whatever. What do I know? Our Monkey King went through the list and made a thorough inspection of the horses. Within the imperial stables, the accounts were in charge of getting supplies, for one, their food, and the duties of assisting and the management of the horses. Never resting, the Bima overseer, never resting, comma, the Bima overseer was the one who cared for the horses, fussing with them all day and night, watching over them diligently by night. Those horses that wanted to sleep were stirred up and fed. Those who wanted to gallop were caught and placed in the stalls. When the celestial horses saw him, they behaved most properly, and they were so well cared for that their flanks became swollen with fat. More than half? A month soon went by. And one leisurely morning, the various department ministries gave a banquet to welcome and congratulate the Monkey King. While they were drinking happily, the Monkey King suddenly put down his cup and asked, "What sort of rank is Bon Horse Pilgrim of mine?" "The rank and title are the same," they said. "What ministry grade is it?" the Monkey King asked. "It does not have a grade," they said. "If it does not have a grade," the Monkey King said, "I suppose I must be the very highest." "Not at all," they replied. "It can only be called unclassified." "What?" the Monkey King said. "What do you mean, unclassified?" It is the mere lowest level," they said. The Monkey King looked confused. "This kind of ministry is the lowest of the low ranks, hence can be only looked after. Hence, thus in this position can only look after horses. Take the case of your honor, who, since your arrival, has been so diligent in discharging your duties. If the horses are fattened, you will only earn yourself a fairly good. If they look all thin, you will be routinely rebuked, and if they are seriously hurt or wounded, you will be prosecuted and fined." When the Monkey King heard this, fire leapt from his heart. "So that's the that's the contentment they have for old Monkey," he cried angrily, gnashing his teeth. "All that Flower Mountain I was honored as a king and patriarch. How dare they trick me into coming to look after their horses for them? If horse tending is such a meager service, reserved only for the young and lowly, is such treatment worthy of me? I'm quitting. I'm leaving right now." With a crash, he kicked over the office desk and took the treasure out of his ear. One wave of his hand and all the thickness of a rice bowl it became. Discovering such a weapon, the immortals ran, delivering blows in devastation and destruction in all directions. The great Monkey King, he fought his way through the imperial stables and went straight to the South Heaven Gate. The various celestials guard, knowing that he was officially appointed Ba Horse Pilgrim, did not dare stop him and allowed him to fight his way out of the heaven's gates. In that moment, he lowered the direction of his cloud and returned to Flower Fruit Mountain, the four mighty commanders were seen drilling troops with the monster kings of various caves. Little ones, the Monkey King cried out in a loud voice. Old Monkey has returned! The flock of monkeys came to bow and receive him into the depths of the cave dwelling. As the Monkey King ascended his throne, they brazenly prepared a banquet. Receive our congratulations, great king, they said. Having gone to the region above for 10 years, you must have been returning in success and glory. I have been away for only half a month or so, said the Monkey King. How can it be more than 10 years, great king? The various monkeys said. You are not aware of time and season when you're in heaven. One day in heaven is equal to a year on earth or so. We may ask the great king what the ministry appointed him. Don't mention that, the Monkey King said, waving his hand. It's embarrassed me to death. The Jade Emperor does not know. He does not know talent when he sees it. Seeing the features of Old Monkey, he appointed me something called the Pain Horse Pilgrim, which actually means just taking care of his horses. It's a job for the lowest of the low, or even the young. It is the lowest rank. I don't know what this sorry. I don't know what this thing is that compelled him to put me in such a position, but when I first assumed this duty, and so I managed to have so much fun with the Imperial stables. When I asked my colleagues today, I discovered what degree of position I was in. He's a bit of a diva. I see. I discovered what they diagnosed was my position was of the lowest of the low. I was so furious that I knocked over the banquet they were giving me and rejected the title. That's why I came back down. Welcome back, the various monkeys cried. Welcome back. Our great king has finally returned from his blessing in the skies. This well-blessed cave dwelling with the greatest of honor and happiness, why should he go anywhere to be someone's stable boy? Little ones, they cried, send up the wine quickly, and cheer up our great king with a banquet. As they drank wine and conversed happily, someone came to report. Great king, there are 2 horned demon kings outside who want to see you. Show them in, the Monkey King said. The demon kings straightened out their attire and ran into the cave, prostrating themselves. Why did you want to see me? He asked pointedly. Well then, I'm gonna get a little bit in tonight. This is one of my personal favorites right here. The Jade Emperor belittles my great talent, said the great Monkey King. He only made something called the Pain Horse Pilgrim. Of me. Hearing this, the Demon King said again, Great King has such divine powers. Why should you take care of horses for him? What is there to stop you from assuming the rank of the great sage equal to heaven? When the Monkey King heard these words, he could not control his delight, shouting, Bravo, bravo! Make me a banner immediately! Yes, inscribe onto it, the great sage equal to heaven. erect it upon a pole and hang it outside. From now on, address me as the Great Sage, equal to heaven, and the title Great King will no longer be permitted. The monstrous kings of virtuous caves will also be informed, so that all will be known. Of those who speak to me shall know me as the Great Sage, equal to heaven. Of this we shall speak no further. We now refer to the Jade Emperor, who held court the next day. The celestial master, Zhang, had been waiting to give his report. He had seen the duties and assistants of the imperial stables to come before the Vermarin court. Your Majesty, they said, prostrating themselves. The newly appointed Ba horse pilgrim, Sun Wukong, objected to his rank, has begun to low and left Heaven's palace yesterday in rebellion. Meanwhile, the Devarachas, leading the various celestial guards from the South Heaven Gate, also made the report. The Ba horse pilgrim, for reason unknown to us, has walked out of Heaven's Gate. The Jade Emperor heard this, and he proclaimed, "Let the two divine commanders and the followers return to their duties. We shall send forth the celestial soldiers to capture this monster. Among the ranks, Davija Li, who was the pagoda bearer," oh, I know that guy, "and his third prince, Nata, came forward and presented their request, saying, 'Your Majesty, though your humble subjects are not gifted, we await your we await your authority to subdue this monster. Would you allow us?' Delighted, the Jade Emperor appointed both of them to be the marshals for subduing this monster. He appointed third Prince Nada to the great deity in charge of the three-platform assembling of saints. They were led to an extraordinary hall and gathered an extraordinary force at once for the reigning below. Li and Nada hence took leave and went back to their own mansions. After receiving their troops, their captains and lieutenants, they appointed Mighty Spirit God, Yaward Commander, and Fishbelly Generals. What the fuck does that mean? "Damnable beasts!" shouted the Mighty Spirit God, appearing in front of the heavenly cave of water curtain. "Hurry and tell the Bon horse pilgrim that I, a great general from heaven, have been authorized and given direct orders by the Jade Emperor to subdue him. Tell him to come quickly and surrender, lest all of you be annihilated." Running pale into the cave, the monstrous shroud, and all of the monkeys reported, "Disaster, disaster, great king." "What sort of disaster?" asked the Monkey King, Great Sage, equal to heaven. "There is a celestial warrior outside," said the monsters, "who claim the title of Imperial Envoy. He says he came by the holy decree of the Jade Emperor to subdue you. He orders you go out quickly and surrender, lest we lose our lives." Hearing this, the Monkey King commanded, "Get my battle dress." And thus the Great Sage, equal to heaven, prepared for a fight. He quickly donned his golden cape, pulling on his yellow golden armor, slipped on his cloud-treading shoes, and seized his golden hooped rod of compliance. Gotta remember that part. He led the crowd outside and set them in battle formation. The mighty spirit god opened wide his eyes and stared at this magnificent monkey king, the great sage equal to heaven. The golden armor worn on his body was brilliant and bright. The golden cape on his back glistened. In his hands was a staff, the golden hooped rod of compliance. Lawless ape, the mighty spirit god roared, powerful. Do you recognize me? When the great sage heard these words, he asked quickly, what sort of dull-witted deity are you? Old monkey has yet to meet you. State your name at once. Hanging past his shoulders were 2 ears, forked and hard. That's weird. This is actually written in the font that a poem would normally be written in. This bon horse pilgrim with a baked mouth and gaping teeth aimed high to be the equal of heaven. Simona, cried the mighty spirit. What do you mean? You don't recognize me? I am the celestial general of mighty spirit. Of mighty spirit, keep in mind. Not the celestial general mighty spirit. The celestial general of mighty spirit. The vainward commander and subduer of the Devaraja Li. The pagoda bearer from the divine... oh my god. From the divine envoy I have been sent. I have come to impart a decree of the Jade Emperor to receive your submission. Strip yourself of your apparel immediately and yield to the heavens' grace, so that this mountain full of creatures can avoid execution. If you dare utter a no, you will be reduced to powder in seconds. When the Monkey King heard these words, he was filled with rage. Reckless simpleton, he cried. Stop bragging and wagging your tongue. I would have killed you with one stroke of my rod, but then I have no one to communicate my message, so I'll spare your life for the moment. Go back to heaven quickly and inform the Jade Emperor that he has no regard for talent. Old Monkey has ultimate abilities. Why did he ask me to mind his horses for him? Take a good look at this banner. I am promoted according to this title. I will lay down my arms, and the cosmos will then be fair and tranquil. But if he does not agree to my demands, I fight my way up to the treasure hall of divine mist, and he won't even be able to sit on his dragon throne. Even the mighty spirit god heard... When even the mighty spirit god heard these words, that's a weird way to say that, he opened his eyes wide, facing the wind, and saw indeed a tall pole outside the cave. On the pole hung a banner, bearing large letters, the words, "The Great Sage, equal to heaven." The mighty spirit god laughed scornfully 3 times and jeered, "Lawless ape, how frivolous can you be? How arrogant! So you want to be the great sage equal to heaven? Be good enough to take a bit of my axe first." Aiming at his head, he beckoned at him. But being a knowledgeable fighter, the Monkey King, great sage equal to heaven, was not unnerved. He met the blow at once with the golden hooped rod of compliance, and this exciting battle was on. The rod named Compliant, the axe called, ooh, that's actually a cool name, Spreading Flower. The two of them met suddenly, did not yet know their weakness or strength. An axe and a rod crashed and collided left and right. Once concealed secret weapons of power most wondrous, the other ventured openly his vigor and might. They used magic, blowing out clouds and puffing away fog. They scratched their hands. They scratched their hands, stretched their fingers, splitting mud and spraying sand. That might of the celestial battle had its way. But the Monkey King had boundless power of change. The rod uplifted, a dragon played in water, an axe arrived, a phoenix slicing through flowers. Mighty spirit, whose name spread through the world, in powerless truth, could not watch the other one. The great sage whirled lightly his iron staff, could numb the body with one blow to the head. The mighty spirit god could oppose him no longer, beaten and battered. Fucking awesome. You know, guys, looking at this, I don't know about the mental state of half these people. I can't even fathom, like, bragging to a guy about how fucking great I am for any amount of time, but this dude literally did it for, like, 3 fucking pages. Like, what the fuck? Okay. So we had just read about how they definitely fought each other very violently. The mighty spirit god could oppose him no longer. Oh, I already read that part. Back at the camp, the mighty spirit god went straight to the pagoda bearer, Devaracha. Huffing and puffing, he knelt down, saying, "The horse-bound pilgrim has great magical powers. Your unworthy warrior cannot prevail against him. Defeat, I have come to beg your pardon." This fellow has blunted our will to fight, said Devaracha. Take him out and have him executed. From the side came Prince Nara, who said, bowing deeply, "Let your anger subside, Father King, and pardon for the moment the guilt of the mighty spirit. Permit your child to go battle once, and we'll know how long it takes in a short manner." The Devaracha heard the admonistration and ordered the mighty spirit god to go back to his camp and await trial. The Prince Nara, properly armed, leaping from his camp, dashed to the water curtain cave. Wukong was just dismissing his troops, with a new Nara approaching fiercely. Dear the prince, 2 boyish tufts barely covering his skull. His flowering hair yet reached his shoulders, a rare mind, alert in intelligence, noble and pure and elegant. He is indeed the unicorn son of the heavens above, truly immortal as the phoenix of the mist and smoke. This seed of dragon has by nature uncommon features. His tender age shows no restraint to any of the world's kin, on any of his worldly kin. He carries on his body 6 kinds of magic weapons. He flies, he leaps, he can charge without restraint. Sounds like a hot-headed idiot. Now, by the golden mouth proclaim of the Jade Emperor, he opposed the assembly of the Bon Horse Pilgrim. I love how they keep calling him by his fucking previous title. It's really funny. Wukong drew near to ask, "Whose little brother are you? And what do you want bringing yourself and barging through my gate? Lawless, monstrous monkey!" shouted Nada. You do not recognize me? I am Nada, 3rd son of the pagoda bearer Devaraja. I am under the commission of the Jade Emperor to come arrest you. Little prince, said Wukong, laughing. Your baby teeth haven't even fallen out, and your nutless hair is still damp. How dare you talk so big? I'm going to spare your life. I won't fight you. Just take a look at the words on my banner and report them to the Jade Emperor above. Grant me this title, and you won't need to stir up your forces. I will submit of my own will. If you don't satisfy my cravings, I will surely fight my way up to the treasure hall of divine mist. Lifting his head, he looked at Nada with these words. Upon the banner, great sage equal to heaven. What great power does this monstrous monkey possess? Said Nada. That he dares claim such a title. Fear not. Swallow my sword. I'll just stand here quietly, said Wukong. And you can take a few hacks at me with your sword. Young Nada grew angry. Charge! He yelled loudly. And he charged at once into a fearsome person he charged at once, changing as he did so into a fearsome person. I skipped a line there. Having 3 heads, 6 arms, in his hands he held 6 kinds of weapons, a monstrous stabbing sword, a malicious scimitar, a monstrous binding rope, a monster taming club, an emboldening ball, and a fierce wheel. Brandishing those weapons, he mounted a 4 frontal attack. This little brother does know a few tricks, said Wukong, somewhat alarmed by what he saw. But don't be so rash. Watch my magic, the great sage shouted. Change! And I love how one of them yells, charge! And the other one, change! And he too transformed himself into a creature with 3 heads and 6 arms. One wave of the golden hooped rod, and it became 3 staffs, which were held by the 6 hands. The conflict was truly earth-shaking and made the very mountains tremble. What a battle. Whoa, that's a poem! The 6-armed prince, the heaven-born handsome stone monkey king, meeting each other match per match, and found each to be formidable. One was considered to come down to earth, the other gilded in the distant universe. The edge of the monster-stabbing sword was quick. The keen, monster-cleaving scimitar alarmed demons and the gods. The monster-binding rope was like a flying snake, and the taming club was like the head of a wolf. The lightning-perilled fiery wheel was like a darting flame. Hither and thither the embroiled ball rotted, whatever that means. The 3 compliant rods of the great sage protected the front and guarded the rear. With care and skill, a few rounds of bitter consistent revealed no victor. But the prince's mind would not so easily rest. He ordered his 6 kinds of weapons to change into hundreds of thousands of millions of aiming for the head of the monkey. Undaunted, roaring with laughter, and held his iron weapon aloft. One of the compliant rods into 1,000, into 10,000, flying to the sky as a swarm of dancing dragons, and shook monstrous kings of sundry caves into the shutting doors. The anger beneath the divine soldiers was like oppressive clouds. The golden hooped rod whizzed like the wind on the side. The battle cries of celestial fighters applied every one on that side. The banner waving of a monkey's monstrous settled each person, growing fiercer. The two parties both willed the test of strength. We know not who was the stronger or the weaker. Each displayed his divine power. The third prince and Wukong battled 30 rounds. The 6 weapons of the prince changed into thousands and tens of thousands of pieces of gold. The golden hooped rod of Sun Wukong into 10,000, and 10,000 they determined. Wukong, however, proved to be one of the swifter eye and hand. Right in the midst of the confusion, he plucked a piece of his hair and shouted, "Change!" It changed into a copy of him, also wielding a rod in its hand. And deceiving Nada, his real person leaped behind Nada and struck him on the shoulder with the rod. Nada, still performing his magic, heard the rod whizzing through the air and tried to displace it, or try to dodge. Unable to move quickly enough, he took the blow and fell in pain. Breaking off his magic and gathering up his 6 weapons, he returned to the camp in defeat. Standing in front of this battle line, Devaraja Lee saw what happened and was about to go to his son's assistance. The prince, however, came to him first and gasped, "Father King, the Bon Horse Pilgrim is truly powerful. Even your son of such magical strength is no match for him. He has wounded my shoulder." Basically saying, "Yeah, Dad, that guy means business." God. "If this fellow is so powerful," said the Devaraja, turning pale with fright, "how can we beat him?" This is an odd one. Oh well. "If that's the case," the Devaraja said, "let's not fight him for the moment. Let us return to the region above and report these words to the great Jade Emperor, so we can send for more celestial soldiers." This prince was in such pain he could not do battle again. He therefore went back to the heavenly realm with the Devaraja to report what he found. "Look at that mysterious Monkey King, returning to his mountain in triumph. The monster kings of 72 caves in the 62 sworn brothers all came congratulating him." This is an odd one. "They feasted jovially in their blessed cave dwelling. He then said to 6 brothers, 'If little brother is now called the great sage equal to heaven, why don't you all assume the title as great sage as well? Our brother's words are right,' shouted the Bull King. 'From their midst I am going to be called the great sage, peril within heaven. I shall be called great sage, covening of the ocean. I shall be called great sage, united with heaven. I shall be called great sage, mover of mountains. And finally, the final one, I said, I shall be called Telltale Great Sage.'" He might go out of business. "And I shall be called God-rooting Great Sage." So basically, everyone gives each other titles for the fun of it. I see. Like they're playing some kind of weird version of House. We now return to the Devaraja and the third prince, who, landing of the heavenly realm to the other commanders, went straight to the treasure hall of divine mist to give this report. "By your holy decree, your subjects led an army to the extraordinary foe, forced down to the region below to subdue the baneful immortal Sun Wukong, who had no idea his enormous power." Indeed, they did not. We could not prevail against him. We beseech your majesty to give us reinforcements to wipe him out. The Jade Emperor heard these words and said, "How powerful can we expect one monkey to be? That reinforcements are needed for a celestial army. May your majesty pardon us for an offense worthy of death," said the prince. "That baneful monkey wielded an iron rod. He could defeat first spirit god, and then wounded the shoulder of your subject outside the door of his cave and set up a banner bearing the words, 'Great Sage, equal to heaven.' He said that if he were given such a rank, he would lay down his arms and come to declare his allegiance with the heavens. If not, he would fight his way up to the treasure hall of divine mist and kill everyone in here. How dare this baneful monkey be so insolent?" exclaimed the Jade Emperor. "We must order our generals to give him an execution at once." As he said this, the gold star of Venus came forward again. From the ranks, he said, "That baneful monkey knows how to make a speech, but he has no idea what's appropriate and what isn't. Even if reinforcements are sent to fight him, I don't think he can be subdued right away without taxing our forces. It would be better if your majesty were greatly extend your mercy and proclaim yet another decree of purification. Let him indeed be made the great sage equal to heaven. He will be given an empty title, in a short rank, without any responsibilities or compensation within the court." "What do you mean, rank without compensation?" said the Jade Emperor. The gold star of Venus then said, "His name will be Great Sage equal to heaven, but he will not be given an official duty or salary. We shall keep him here in the heaven so that we may put him at ease and his dawdling mind at rest. Make him dynast from his madness and arrogance. The universe will then be calm and the oceans tranquil once again, away from his wrath." Hearing these words, the Jade Emperor said, "We shall follow the counsel of our minister." He ordered the mandate that made up the gold star and hence he bear it. Made up the gold star and hence he bear it. What does that mean? Hold on, let me deal with the cake. Made of the gold star, and hence he bear it. Okay, so I'm assuming he's talking about like a decree for Sun Wukong to be given the title Great Sage equal to heaven, blah 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 blah. Okay, he found the entire region filled with awesome... Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. The gold star left the southern heaven gate once again and headed straight to the flower fruit mountain outside the water curtain cave. Things were quite different for the way they had been previous time. He found an entire region filled with awesome bouquets preserved of every kind of bouquets of every kind of monster. Each one of them clutching and clattering swords and spears, wielding scimitars and staff, growling and leaping about. They began to attack the gold star the moment they saw him. "You chieftains hear me," said the gold star. Let me trouble you to report this to the great sage. I have the heavenly message he want to deliver, for I am the heavenly messenger, sent by the Lord above. I bear an imperial decree of invitation. The various monsters ran inside to report. There is an old man outside who says he's said that he is the heavenly messenger from the region above, bearing a decree of invitation to you. Splendid, splendid, Wukong said. Welcome, welcome. Oh, he must be that gold star of Venus who came here last time, although it was a shady position they gave me. Then he invites me up to the region above. I nevertheless made it to heaven once and formalized myself with the ins and outs of the celestial pages. He has come again, this time undoubtedly with good intentions. Wukong smiled. He commanded the various chieftains to wave their banners and beat their drums, and draw up the troops to receive an order. Leading the rest of the monkeys, the great sage daunted his cape, put on his armor, and tossed over the yellow and red robes, and slipped on his cloud shoes. He ran to the mouth of the cave, boasting and bellowing. Please come in, old star. Forgive me, for I am not coming out to meet you. The gold star strutted forward, entering the cave. He stood facing the south, declaring, I am informed the great sage because the great sage has objected to the manners of his previous appointment and removed himself from the imperial stables. The officials of the department, both great and small, report the manner of the Jade Emperor. The proclaim of the Jade Emperor said first, all appointed officers advance from lowly positions to exalted ones. Why should he object to that agreement? This led to the campaign against you by Devaraja Li and Prince Nata, third born. They were ignorant of the great sage's power and therefore suffered defeat. I report back to the heavens that had sent up a banner that made known you desire to be the great sage equal to heaven. The various materials officials still wanted to deny your request. If it was for the old man who risked offense, plead the case of the great sage so that he might be invited to receive a new appointment, and without the use of force, the Jade Emperor accepts my suggestion. Hence, I am here to invite you. I caused you trouble last time, Wukong said, laughing. Hold on, my cat is attacking my foot. Hello, Kage! He's very playful right now. Give me 1 second. It's not like this is a professional audiobook anyways. Come here. If you wanted to be reading the full story, or if you wanted the full story of Journey to the West read to you, you would probably be doing it by someone who actually would read the entire story. I'm only doing the first book. I love charity. Seriously, though, the charity event was a lot of fun. So, back to it. And now I am again indebted to you for your kindness. Thank you, thank you. There really such a rank of great sage equal to heaven within the heavenly court? I made certain this title was approved of, the gold star said, before I dared come to the decree. If any misshape this, let this old man be held responsible. Wukong was highly pleased by the gold star's but the gold star refused his earnest invitation to stay for a banquet. Hold on. This kitty cat's very excited. Wukong, therefore he mounted his hollowed cloud with the gold star and went to the south gate, where they were welcomed with celestial generals and guardians with hands folded at their breasts, going straight into the treasure hall of divine mists. The golden star protested himself and mesmerized. Your subject, by your decree, has summoned here Ba Horse Pilgrim Sun Wukong. Has the Sun Wukong come forward, said the Jade Emperor. I now proclaim you to be the great sage equal to heaven, position of the highest rank, but you must indulge no more in peakiness behavior. I've never heard that word before. What the hell does peakiness mean? What is peakinous behavior? Oh well, probably something I don't know because I've never heard the term. Bowing deeply, the monkey uttered a great howl of thanks. The Jade Emperor then ordered two building officials, Zhang and Liu, to erect an office residing of the great sage equal to heaven. To the right garden of immortal peaches. Inside the mansion, two departments were established, named Peace and Quill. Oh, wait, what? That's peace and quiet, but two of the letters of quiet are missing. It's peace and quiet, but it's just QUI. And Serene Spirit, both of which were fully attending officers. The Jade Emperor also ordered the star spirits of 5 pools to accompany Wukong to assume his post. In addition, 2 bottles of imperial wine and 10 clusters of golden flowers were bestowed to him, with the order that he must keep himself under control and make up his mind to indulge no more in peakiness, I don't know what that means, behavior. I'm assuming it means like fucking debauchery and like nonsense and killing everything. The Monkey King obediently accepted the command and went that day with the star spirits to assume his post. He opened the bottles of wine and drank them all in a barbaric display. After seeing the star spirits to their own palaces, he settled down in complete contentment, the delight and joy of the pleasures of heaven, without the slightest worry of care. Truly, his name divine, forever recorded in the long life book, and kept from falling into samsara, will long be known. It's very hard. The idea of samsara is very interesting. It's a very human idea to begin with, right? Very human. It's a very human idea in religion that there is reincarnation, because we have only ever known this life. And humans are creatures that we do a lot of our magic, quote unquote, a lot of our learning, and a lot of what makes us human by experience of others. But no one's ever experienced death fully and come back. So it's a very comforting idea that reincarnation is real, because that's a very human idea. Personally, I'd rather be tortured in the hells for eternity. Alrighty then. That would be it. Let's head to chapter 5. In hindsight, it's probably not a good idea to in fact, even at all, let a mega impulsive monkey into your kingdom, but I guess they have no real choice since he has all the power. I believe Sun Wukong represents the mind in this book. This book is an entire analogy for the journey to enlightenment. This section represents essentially faithlessness. It is one without faith. The great sage enjoyed this sight for a long time, and then he asked the local spirit, "How many trees are there?" Oh, Jesus. Ouch, sorry. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I actually know about this one because of how convoluted it is. What he is talking about is this fucking orchard. Technically, there's 3 orchards. And basically, each of these orchards has a different type of fucking peach growing in it that gives you different abilities, but every orchard after the first one gives you the abilities of the previous one. You'll see. There are 3,600, the spirit said. And the front ones are 1,200 trees with little flowers and small fruits. These ripen once every 3,000 years, and after one taste of them, a man will become an immortal, enlightened in the way. with healthy limbs and a lightweight body. In the middle are 1,266 trees of layered flowers and sweet fruits. They ripen once every 6,000 years. If a man eats them, he will ascend to heaven with the mist and never grow old. At the back are 1,122 trees with fruits, purple vines, and yellow pits. These ripen once every 9,000 years. If eaten, every 9,000 years, it will make a man's age equal to heaven and earth, the sun and the moon. Highly pleased by these words, the great sage that very day made sure to thoroughly inspect the trees and list the orchards before returning to his residence. From then on, he would go down to enjoy secretly once every 3 or 4 days. He no longer consulted with his friends, nor did he take any more trips. One day he saw that more than half of the peaches on the branches of the older trees had ripened. And he wanted very much to eat one and sample its novel taste, closely followed, however, by the local spirits of the garden and guards, the stalwart spirits and the stewardess, and the divine attendants of equal heaven residents. Cringe! I forgot it was called that. He found an inconvenience to do so. He, therefore, devised a plan, visiting the garden. On the spur of the moment, he said, "Why don't you all wait for me outside, and let me rest a while in this abode?" The various immortals withdrew accordingly. That monkey king, a weird one, then took off his cape and robe and climbed onto a big tree. He selected a large peach that were thoroughly ripened, plucked many of them, ate to his heart's content, right on the branch. What a fucking glutton. Well, compulsive nature or whatever. Only after he had his fill did he jump down from the tree, pinning back his cape and donning his robe. He called forth his train of followers to return to their residence. After 2 or 3 days, he used the same divisive tactic to steal peaches. To steal peaches from himself however he wanted once again. One day, Lady Queen Mother, Guan Yin, I believe her name is. Real piece of work, that woman. Real fucking evil. Mega evil, in fact. One day, Lady Queen Mother decided to open wide her treasure chamber and give a banquet for the festival of immortal peaches, which was to be held in the palace of the Jade Emperor Jasper Pool of Mist. She ordered the various immortals: red gown, blue gown, white gown, black gown, purple gown, yellow gown, green gown, to give their flowers banquets to the garden of immortal peaches and pick fruits for the festival. The 7 maidens were sent to the gate of the garden and found it guarded by local spirits, the stalwarts and the mistresses of 2 departments of equal to heaven. The girls approached them, saying, "We have been ordered by the Queen Mother to pick some peaches for the banquet." "Divine maidens," said the local spirit, "please wait a moment. This year is not quite the same as last year. Jade Emperor has put in charge here the great sage equal to heaven, and we must report to him before allowing them to open the gate." Now, did he actually do that, or is that a lie? I doubt the Jade Emperor would do something so reckless and stupid. Where is the great sage? Asked the countless maidens. He is in the garden, said the local spirit. Because he is tired, he is sleeping alone in the orchard. Okay, whoa, hold on a second. You're telling me these... No. Did the Jade Emperor actually do that? We never actually got that stated. If he did, he's a fucking dumbass. Omega dumbass. He Omega stupid. He'd be like having no chromosomes, have an ass. He got 0. He got fucking 0. He's a fucking NPC. Why would you ever do that? Why would you put a mega impulsive monkey who has the power to reap all of heaven in charge of something he can eat impulsively? I don't know. I don't know. He is in the garden. If that's the case, said the maidens, let us go find him. We cannot be late. Local spirits went into the garden with them. They found their way to the orchard, but saw no one. Only the cape and robe were left in the orchard, but there was no person to be seen. The great sage, you see, had played for a while and eaten a number of peaches. He had then been charged himself to figure out only two. He had then changed himself. There's a letter missing there. Into only 2 inches in height, and perched on the branch of the tree. So he's a tiny monkey. Damn. That's a really weird sight. It reminds me of the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman's knots. How he'd tie them into a bunch of knots. I know that's a really stupid reference, but it's like the monkey's fist. The monkey! It's like a tiny monkey. Had fallen asleep under the cover of thick leaves. That actually does sound pretty fucking baller. Reminds me of Grounded. Since we came by imperial decree, said the 7 grown immortal maidens of countless. What? Are there 7 or are there countless of them? How can we return empty-handed, even though we cannot locate the great sage? One of the divine officers said, since the divine maidens have come by decree, they should wait no longer. Our great sage has a habit of wandering off somewhere. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? And he must have left the garden to meet with his friends. Go and pick your peaches now, and we shall report to this manner. I would be concerned that he's fucking naked. But let me let this adorable kitty cat out. Oh, God. Sorry. We just ate dinner in the house, and kitty cat wanted to eat some dinner as well. He got hungry from the smell. Where was I? The immortal mob of maidens. Okay. Followed his suggestion and went into the grove to pick the peaches. They gathered 2 basketfuls from the trees in front of it and filled 3 more baskets for the trees in the middle. When they went to the trees in the back of the grove, they found the flowers were sparse and fruits scarce. Only a few peaches with hairy stems and green skin were left. For the fact is that the old Monkey King with hairy palms had eaten all of the ripe ones. Looking this way and that way, the 7 immortal maidens found on a branch pointing southward 1 singular peach that was half white and half red. The blue gown maiden pulled the branch down with her hand, and the red gown maiden picked the fruit. The branch snapped back in one position. This was the very branch of which the transformed great sage was sleeping. Startled by her, the great sage revealed his true form and whipped out from his ear the golden hooped rod of compliance. One wave, and it was the thickness of a rice bowl. For what region have you come, monsters? He cried. That you have all gall to steal my peaches. Terrified, the 7 immortal maidens knelt down together and pleaded, Let the great sage calm himself. We are no monsters, but 7-gown immortal maidens sent by the lady queen mother to pluck the fruits needed for the grand festival of immortal peaches. Then, when the treasure chamber is opened, we just came for the first to locate spirits of the garden who could not find the great sage, fearing that we might be delayed in fulfilling the command of the great queen. We did not wait for the great sage, but proceeded to pluck the peaches. We beg to you, forgive us. When the great sage heard this, his anger changed to delight. Rise, please, divine maidens, he said. Who is invited to the banquet of the great queen mother? Open wide her treasure chambers. The last festival held its own set of rules, the immortal maidens said. And those invited were the Buddha. Okay, just Buddha. Fuck. Just actually Buddha. Those who were invited were Buddha. You know, that guy. Pretty important. Pretty important guy. Just actually Buddha. Alright. And the Bodhisattvas, the holy monks, and the Arhamian Tats of the Western Heaven, Kugan Yin from the South Pole, and the Holy Emperor of Great Mercy of the East, the immortal... God damn, there's so many... Holy shit, this entire page is just listing off names. Somebody was world building. The immortals of 10 continuous and 3 isles, the dark spirit of the North Pole... Jesus, what? The dark spirit of the North Pole! The great immortal of Yellow Horn from the Imperial Center. God, so many Wukong bosses I'm actually noticing here. These were the elders of 5 quarters. In addition, there were the 3 star spirits of the 5 poles, the 3 pure ones, the 4 Devaraja kings, the heavenly Deva of the... I love how this started with Buddha. The heavenly Deva of the Great Mound, and the rest upon the 8 caves from the Middle East. Caves, there were the Jade Emperor, the 9 heroes, the immortals of the sea and mountain, and the lower 8 caves were the Pope of Darkness and the Transient Immortals. Fuck. Did you have to list off the entire party list? The gods and devas, both great and small, of every place and mansion, will be attending this happy festival of immortal peaches. Am I invited? We haven't heard your name. Sorry, am I invited? Giant space with no words in it. I'm assuming that means, said the Monkey King. We haven't heard your name mentioned, said the immortal maidens. I am the great sage equal to heaven, said the great sage equal to heaven. That's not a joke, by the way. That's actually what it says. We haven't heard your name mentioned, said the immortal maidens. Quote, I am the great sage equal to heaven, unquote, said the great sage equal to heaven. Oh, God. Why would an old monkey be made an honored guest at that party? Well, we were told you ruled for the last... We told you the rules for the last festival, said the immortal maidens. We don't know what happened this time. Right, said the great sage. And I don't blame you. at all. Just stand here and let old monkey go and do a little detection to find out whether he's invited or not. Dear great sage, he made his magic sign and recited a spell, saying the various immortal maidens, "Stay, stay, stay!" With the magic of immobilization, the effect of which was that the 7-gowned immortals, maidens of countless, all stood wide-eyed and transfixed beneath the peach trees. Leaping out of the garden, the great sage, he's completely nude, by the way, mounted his hollowed cloud and headed straight for the jasper pool. He had saw over a sky of holy mist with sparkling light, 5 colored clouds passing celestials. The cries of white cranes pierced the 9 heavens. Sorry, the 9-fold heavens. The purple fungi bloomed through the... My cat is biting my hand. Ow! Sorry. Bloomed through the 1,000 leaves. Right in the midst of the immortals appeared. What? What? What does that mean, yo? I don't know. Appeared with a natural fair face and manner distinct. His spiritual glow like a dancing rainbow. A list of no births or deaths hung from his waist. His name, the great immortal Naked Feet. Attending the Peach Festival, he had lengthened his age. I see. You know, reading this book has given me a lot of insight into, well, actually, funnily enough, anime. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I have learned a staggering amount about anime from this book. Most books, most manga, most anything to deal with anime has a lot of inspiration from this book. And I can definitely see why. So we are on to Chapter Sage at this point. So, Chapter 6 at this point. For a moment we shall not tell you about the great sage of the gods, or the great sage at rest. We speak instead about the deliverer of the effigies, Bodhisattva Genyunu, from the South Sea, invited by Lady Queen Mother to attend the great festival of immortal peaches. She arrived at the treasure chamber of the Jade Pool of Divine Mist. Okay, so like they're going to the main chamber. The treasure chamber of the Divine Pool of Divine Mist. With her disciples, they then found the whole place desolate, and the banquet tables in utter disarray. Okay, so there's the treasure room of Divine Mist, the Jade Pool of Divine Mist. I wonder if Divine Mist is like, I don't know how to put it, but like a lair, basically. Like, oh, this is the Divine Mist lair. I don't know. Although several members of the Heavenly Parliament were present, none was seated. Instead, they all engaged in various engagements of dialect and discourse. After the Bodhisattva had greeted the various deities, they told her what had occurred. Since there will be no festival, said the Bodhisattva, nor any rising of cups, all of you might as well come with this humble cleric to see the Jade Emperor. There is something we must discuss with him. The gods followed her gladly, and they went to the entrance of the Hall of Perfect Light. There, the Bodhisattva was met by 4 celestial masters and the immortal Naked Foot, who recounted how the celestial soldiers ordered by an enraged Jade Emperor to capture the monster had not yet returned. The Bodhisattva said, "I would like to have an audience with the Jade Emperor. May I trouble one of you to announce my arrival?" The heavenly prospector Kui Hungji went at once to the treasure hall of divine mist and had to make a report, inviting Guan Yin to enter. Guan Yin. This is probably the most evil character in the entire story. There are few characters more morally corrupt and self-righteous. Sorry if you can hear a lawnmower. Morally corrupt and self-righteous than Guan Yin is. Very few. I can only think of a couple, and those are like characters that are outright evil, like the 100-eyed Taoist. So we're dealing with a real fucking nefarious fucker here. Then took the upper seat with the Jade Emperor, while the Lady Queen Mother was in audience behind the throne. The Bodhisattva led the crowd inside. After paying homage to the Jade Emperor, they also saluted Lao Tzu and the Queen Mother, who had just arrived. When each was seated, she asked, "How is the great festival of Immortal Peaches?" "Every year when the festival has begun," the Jade Emperor, "we have thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. The festivals are always enjoyable. This year has been completely ruined, though, by a baneful monkey, leaving us with nothing but disappointment." Okay. So this is where I want to point out something once again. This book is like really weirdly written. There is a missing word here. This sentence says the following: leaving us with nothing but an disappointment. To disappointment. Now, there are a couple letters in that missing word slot. I'm assuming what that means is leaving us with nothing but an invitation to disappointment. Because I see INV and then a large blank space. Really weird. I wonder why that is. "Where did this baneful monkey come from?" asked the Bodhisattva. "He was born from a stone egg atop Flower Fruit Mountain. And the Billy country of the East Providence on the continent Prahovada. At the moment of birth, 2 beams of golden light flashed immediately from his eyes, reaching as far as the palace of the Proletarian. We did not think much at the time, but he later became a monster, subdued the dragon and taming the tiger, as well as enriching his name and erasing it from the register of death itself. When the Dragon King and the kings of the underworld brought the matter to my attention, we wanted to capture him. The Star of a Long Life, however, observed that all the beginnings of the 3 regions that passed the 9 structures could attain immortality. Therefore, we decided to educate and nurture the talented monkey and summon him to the region above. He was appointed the post of P. Ma Wen of the Imperial Stables, taking office at the lowest of his positions. God damn it, that fucking lawnmower is loud. He left, however, in rebellion when the Deva Li and Prince Nada asked his submission, he proclaimed that he was the great sage equal to heaven. He was brought again to the region above and was appointed such a title, a rank without comprehension or comparison, nor any responsibilities. Since he had nothing to do but to wander the east and west, we feared that he might cause further trouble, so we asked him to look after the Garden of Immortal Peaches. But he broke the law and ate a large peach from the oldest tree. By then, the banquet was about to be given. As a person without salary, he was, of course, not invited. Nonetheless, he plotted to disguise as an immortal named Naked Feet, and he managed to sneak into the banquet by assuming the immortal's appearance. He finished off all the divine wine and food, after which he also stole Lao Tzu's elixir and took away a considerable quantity of the imperial wine for the enjoyment of the monkeys of the mountain. God, the Jade Emperor is long-winded as fuck. That is all in quotation marks, by the way. Our mind has been sorely vexed by this, and we therefore sent 100,000 celestial soldiers with a cosmic net to capture him. We haven't yet received today's report how the battle is faring. When the Bodhisattva heard this, she said to Huan, "You must leave heaven at once. Go down to the Flower Fruit Mountain and inquire to the military situation. If the enemy is engaged, you can lend your assistance and lead them. If in any event, you must bring back a financial report on the damages." Okay, that's an odd thing to be concerned with right now, but okay. The displaced celestial sighed and then straightened out his attire and mounted the cloud to leave the place, leaving the palace behind, an iron rod in his hand. When he arrived at the mountain, he found layers of cosmic net drawing tightly and serenity at the gate, along with a army of sentries. Gate holding bells and shouting passwords. The encirclement of the mountain was indeed watertight. The Celestial stood still and called out, "Heavenly Sentinels, may I trouble you to have an encore, not an audience, encore with me for my arrival. I am Prince Mokasa, I believe is how you say that, second son of the Devaraja Li, and I am also Hanu, senior of, scroll down, senior of the South Sea. I have come to inquire about the military situation. Do you have any reports?" The divine soldiers of the 5 mountains at once reported this beyond the gate. When the conjured message of the ten central, Devaraja Li issued a devastation flag, which ordered the cosmic net to be opened and enter permanence. Okay. Day was just dawning in the east as Hu Hun flew the flag inside and protested himself before the 4 great Devarajas and Devaraja Li. After he had finished his greetings, Devaraja Li said, "My child, where have you come from?" "Your untutored son," said Han. accompanies the Bodhisattva to attend the Festival of Immortal Peaches. Seeing the festival was in such a disarray and the jade pool laid waste, the Bodhisattva led various deities and your untutored son to have an audience with the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor spoke at length. Yes, at very much length. Bro said 5 paragraphs. Like, I'm literally looking at it right now. I just scrolled up to look at it. Explaining that a baneful monkey had done such a thing. Since no reports had returned for a while that day, once the soldiers were sent, and neither victory or defeat has been declared, the Bodhisattva ordered your untutored son to come here and find how things stand. We came yesterday to set up the encampment, said Devaraja, and the 9 luminesses were sent to provoke battle. But this fellow made a great display of his magical power, and the 9 luminesses all returned defeated. After that, I led the troops personally to comfort him. Comfort? I think it's supposed to say confront him. Another weird misspelling. To comfort him, and the fellow also brought his forces to the formation. Our 100,000 celestial soldiers fought with him until evening, when he returned from the battle using the magic of body division. Very nice. Oh, okay. This one... Sorry, everybody. I had a very exhausting day. Alright. Next recording session. Someone from the outside camp in the gate reported the great sage leading his band of monkey monsters is shouting from the battlefield outside. The 4 Devaraja Li, comma, the Devaraja Li, the prince, at once made plans to bring out the troops when the Muksha said, King Father, Mukasa, I believe is how you pronounce that name. King Father, your untutored son was told by the Bodhisattva to come down here and accompany acquisition information. She also told me to give you assistance should there be actual combat. Therefore, I may not be very talented. I volunteer to go out and see what kind of great sage this is. Child, said the Devaraja, since you have studied with the Bodhisattva for several years, you must, I suppose, have some powers. Be careful. He's shouting that, by the way. There's exclamation points there. Dear Prince, the iron rod with both hands, he tightened up his grip and his garments and leaped out of the gate. Who is the great sage equal to heaven? He cried, holding his compliant rod. The great sage answered, none other than old monkey here. Who are you, dare to question me? I am Mukasa, the second son of Devaraja Li, said Mukasa triumphantly. I am also a disciple of the Bodhisattva Guan Yin. Probably one of the most evil characters in fiction. A defender of the faith before her treasure throne, and my religious name is Hu Han. Why have you left your rigorous training at South Sea and come here to me? Said the great sage above heaven. I was sent by my master to inquire about the military situation, said Mukasa. Seeing that the measures against you have made for yourself and this war, I have come specifically to capture you. How you dare talk so big, the great sage said with a smile. But don't run away. Have a taste of old monkey's rod. Have a taste of old monkey's rod. Have a taste of old monkey's rod. Excuse me, gentlemen. I just need to... Alright. Just wanted to post that somewhere. Anyways, through one rod is plastered against another an iron quill difference. The irons quilt different, though his weapon couples with others. The person are not the same. This one called the Great Sage a wayward patronal god. Oh, that's not patronal. That's supposed to... Okay, so that's letters missing from the word primordial. The other a Guanyin disciple, a true hero and proud. The all-iron rod has been pounded 1,000 times, made by 6 gods of darkness and 6 gods of light. The compliant rod sets the depths of the heavens river, a thing divine rule the ocean with magical might. The two of them meet in found and fond of a single match. Back and forth they battled endlessly, rounds and rounds. From this one of the iron rod's steady hands, savage and fierce at a moment. Around the waist stabbed and jabbed swiftly as the wind, for the other rod doubling as a spear. Driving and restless, lets up not a moment its prey left and right, for it can parry in any direction. On the side banners and flags fly, on the other drums and rattles of cries. 10,000 celestial fighters circle around and round. The monkey monster of a whole cave stand in rows and rows. Weird fog and dark clouds spiraling through the earth. The fume and smoke of battle reach the heavens of home. Yesterday's battle was something to behold. Still more violent is the contest of today. Envy the truly able Monkey King. Mokasa's beaten. He is fleeing for his life. Our great sage battled Huin for 56 or 60 rounds until the prince's arms swung his weapon. Oh, that line is fucked up. Until the prince's arms and shoulders were sore and numb, he could not fight no longer. After one final futile swing of his weapon, that line is below the other one, he fell in defeat. The great sage gathered together his monkey troops and positioned them securely outside the entrance of the cave. At the camp, the Devaraja, the celestial soldiers, could be seen receiving the prince and making way for him to enter the gate. Panting and puffing, he ran and gasped out to the 4 Devarajas, Pagoda Bearer Lee and Nada. The great sage! What an ace! Great indeed is his magical power. Your son cannot overcome him, and has returned defeated. Shocked by the sight, Devaraja Lee at once wrote a memorial to the throne to request further assistance. The Demon King, Mahabale and Prince Mukasa were sent to the heavens to present the document. Not daring to linger, the two of them crashed out of the cosmic net and mounted the holy mist and hollow cloud. Oh, I get it. They have different cloud names. In a moment, they reached the hall of perfect light to meet the 4 celestial masters, who led them into the treasure hall of divine mist to present the memorial. Okay. Huan also saluted the Bodhisattva, who asked him, What have you found out of the situation? Are you fond of it? That's an odd way to ask that. When I reached the flower fruit mountain by your orders, said Huan, I opened the cosmic net by my call. Seeing my father, I told him of my master's intentions in sending me. Father King said we fought a battle yesterday with that monkey, but managed to take from him only tigers, leopards, lions, elephants, and the like. We did not catch a single one of his monkey monsters. As we were talking, he again demanded battle. Your disciple used the iron rod to fight him for 46 or 60 rounds, but I could not prevail against him. In return to the camp, I was defeated. Thus, Father had me send the Demon King Mahabale and your pupil to come for help. The Bodhisattva bowed her head and pondered. Well, now, to tell you, the Jade Emperor who opened the memorial and found a message asking for more assistance. This is rather absurd, he said, laughing. Is this monkey monster such a wizard that not even 1,000 or hundreds of thousands of soldiers of heaven could vanquish him? Devaraja Lee is again asking for help. The division of the divine warriors. Can we send assistance to him even now? Hardly had he finished speaking when Guanyin folded her arms and said to him, Your Majesty, let not your mind be troubled. This horrible cleric of destruction. This horrible cleric of destruction will be no match for the god I must recommend. I know someone who can capture this monkey. Okay, so this horrible cleric of destruction will be no match for the god I will recommend, comma. I know someone who can capture this monkey. Which one would you recommend? Said the Jade Emperor. Your Majesty. Your Majesty's nephew, said the Bodhisattva, the immortal master of illusions and strategy, Lang, who is living at the moment of the river of the river of Luminous in the Guan prefecture and enjoying the incense and silence offered to him from the region below. In former days, he himself slew 6 monsters under his command. Are the brothers of Plume Mountain and 1,200 plant-headed deities. All possess great magical powers. However, he will agree only to the special assignment and will not obey my general summons. Your Majesty may want to send an envoy transfer of his troops to the scene of the battle and request his assistance. Other monsters will surely be captured. When the Jade Emperor heard this, he immediately issued such an etiquette and ordered the Demon King Mahalbale to present it. Oh, okay, so Lang is like literally a bad boy deity, essentially. He only like he doesn't he doesn't receive orders except from the Jade Emperor. At least that's kind of what I'm getting a hold of. He's enjoying the lower realm, which normally they're not supposed to do. Having received an etiquette, the Demon King mounted a cloud and went straight to the mouth of the river of Luminous. It took him less than half an hour to reach the temple of the immortal master. Immediately the demon registered the guards, and the guards opened the door. Reporting inside, "There is a message from the heavens outside, who has arrived with the etiquette in his hand." Erlang and his brothers came out to receive the etiquette, which was read before burning incense. The etiquette said, "The great sage equal to heaven, a monstrous monkey from Flower Fruit Mountain, is in revolt. At the palace he stole peaches, wine, and elixir, and disrupted the grand festival of immortal peaches. 1,000, 100,000 more soldiers and 18 sets of cosmic nets were dispatched to surround the mountain and capture him, but victory has not yet been secured. We therefore make the special request of our worthy nephew and his sworn brothers to go to the Flower Fruit Mountain and assist in destroying this monster. Following your success, I will be loftily elevated and abundantly rewarded." I will loftily elevate and you will be abundantly rewarded. In great delight, the immortal master said, "Let the messenger of heaven go back. I will go at once to offer my assistance with a drawn sword." The Demon King went back, but we shall speak no further of that. This immortal master called together the 6 brothers of Plum Mountain. They were Kang, Zhahong, Yog, and Li, the 4 great marshals, and Go, Shen, and Jiren, the true generals. As they converged before the court, he said to them, the Jade Emperor just now sent us to Flower Fruit Mountain to capture a monstrous monkey. Let us go." Delighted and willing, the brothers at once called out the divine soldiers under their command, with falcons mounted and dogs leashed, with arrows ready and bows drawn. They left with a violent magical wind and crossed in a moment the great eastern ocean. As they landed on the Flower Fruit Mountain, they saw that their way was blocked by dense layers of cosmic nets. "Divine commanders! The cosmic nets! Hear us!" they shouted. "We specially assigned by the Jade Emperor to capture this monstrous monkey. Open the gate for your camp quickly. Let us through." The various deities converged. Hearing the message inside. Level by level, the 4 Devaraja and Devaraja Li then came out to the gate to receive them. After they heard the exchange greeting, there were questions about the military situation, and the Devaraja gave them a thorough briefing. "Now that I, the little sage, have come," said the immortal master, laughing, "he will have to engage in a contest of transformations with his adversary. You gentlemen make sure that the cosmic nets are tightly drawn on all sides. But leave the top uncovered. Let me try my hand in this contest. If I lose, you gentlemen not need to come to my assistance, for my own brothers will be there to support me. If I win, you gentlemen may not need in tying him up either. My brothers will take care of that. All I need is the pagoda bearer, Devaraja, to stand in the middle with the impervious mirror. If the monster should be defeated, I fear that he may try to flee to a distant location. Make sure that his image is clearly reflected in the mirror so that we don't lose him." The Devarajas set themselves up in 4 directions, while the heavenly soldiers all lined up according to their planned formation. Very, very interesting.